nothing really weird here, because I think Gardens, if there's any Lijiang stage that teams might struggle on, Gardens seems to be the one which throws teams off. I think Control Center and Night Markets are well practiced.
Yeah, exactly. Well, now this is a best of 5, so there's the chance even that we are going to see Gardens come up twice, and like you say, that can be a bit of a swing map for these teams. You know, that's often the one where we've, you know, back in the day we saw teams like Jam and Tempo Storm back when they were really dominant. Those were the maps specifically they would often drop against other teams, but in any case, out of the gate, both of these teams looking pretty stock standard.
And straight up onto the roller, Roadhogs on both sides. Zaya's on both sides. They're basically running the exact same lineup, minus Wuvo, who's going to be on the Tracer, and Zip, who's going to be on the Soldier instead. It's going to be early aggression coming out of Scylla, marking their dominance, looking at their position already, taking that little round. The early hook as well.
Absolutely, moving very far forward, Lofty. Oh, wow, actually does end up going down to that hook. Did not quite have a barrier. I liked how they were positioning. They were all clustered on the biotic field, but that's now down. Oh, no, that charge in from Buglugs is going to leave him isolated from this team as Daft gets dropped down to Sparky's own charge. Wuvo trying to keep on the squishies, and suddenly Fourdown is just kind of scattered to the 4 winds. Even though very few of them actually died, they did not have the coordination to mount any kind of counter-attack there.
And once again, when you're running a Roadhog on your team, especially one as good as Spoons, you're happy to go fishing there. He caught a player out straight away, I believe it was Lofty, sent him to extremely low HP, but I really got to say, it came down to, for me, Scylla's positioning on the opening fight. They were so far forward, they were so aggressive, they forced Fourdown into that little alleyway and just completely annihilated them in a close quarters combat.
Yeah, clever stuff. Look at Sparky here, ready to move in for the pincer, but realizes this is not going to work. Wuvo trying to harass on the backline, actually goes to the far side of Daft. Oh, a good Earth Shatter catches a lot. Can they get the follow-up? They bounce onto the air. Buglugs goes down. That is the key one. Now trying to get on top of this Lucio is Spoons. But in any case, once again, Team Scattered as Flake actually finds Hiku Storm of all people with a headshot. And Marzi is going to be dropped down off the back end of that. Nothing too staggered, but just a solid win.
And the best thing here is that Scylla's actually keeping the fight close to the actual entrance. They're not allowing Fourdown to actually get close to the control point. That's really important. Fourdown, I believe, at this sort of time of the game, they should actually be pressuring the objective. If they can pressure the objective, they take the fight away from the entrance, they take the fight onto the actual control point itself, and maybe that'll give them an opening.
That was a really interesting move there. That was a double whole hog. Actually, Buglugs get picked up by the hook to follow up. There was the nano boost on him, but now Nano Visor out of Zift, trying to damage down Spoons. They don't find him, having already got Sparky. That's the 2 tanks down, and most of their ultimates. Flake is holding onto a sound barrier, not going to be worth using here, and Wuvo on that Tracer does not have the DPS to contest. Flake needs to get out of there. Oh, staggered respawns. That is unfortunate to see, but in any case, that is a cap back for Fourdown with a good number of ultimates held onto.
Fourdown, they got a few more than just Fourdown there, and I really got to commend Ziff. I mean, what really happened was he was on such low health the entire time, but he couldn't, he just wasn't killed. He stayed along for so long. He wasn't even healed either. He just sort of magically stayed alive.
Oh, Project gets slept right as he was looking for a Graviton. That means the other one's going to land down instead from Lofty, and the Earth Shatter catching behind them all. Charge in from Buglugs. Just barely appears in front of him. Needs to get out of there, or he's going to face a hammer to the face. Flake getting picked off at the end there as well. And that was just a really good coordination of ultimates, but they did use pretty much all their resources.
Well, they managed to keep the control point. This is really important. They have to get the progress back in their favor. They're so far behind. Now it's going to be back in Scylla's court in terms of momentum. They have the ultimates behind them, as you said. You've got the Earth Shatter from Sparky again. You got a lot of tools to play with here. Initiation as well. You got the combo, Graviton and Pulse Bomb.
Oh, and they're speaking of Graviton and Pulse Bomb. That's going to be Ziff already. The charge out of the Pulse Bomb does keep the rest of them alive, but Project has already cleaned the house. That was the one he was looking for last time, but he got put to sleep. No such luck this time before down, and now they are all down as the cap back comes in.
I guess the only thing that Fourdown could have really done better there is maybe force the fight a little bit earlier, near the entrance of Scylla's spawn. Pretty much exactly what Scylla did to them. Maybe even try and delay the cap. You just have to slow that progress down as much as you can. Now they're coming back. They're still actually at an ultimate disadvantage here. This is going to be an incredibly difficult fight, but it's going to be their last one.
Oh, Daft's getting knocked down already, and the ultimate out of Spoons. Whole hog indeed, and once again, Fourdown, all down, no chance to get back on that point, except for one person trying to play it cheeky, but the rest of the team are collapsing back in. Buglugs, he knows he's done for, takes a charge off the edge, and it's going to be the first map, handily going over to Scylla. Before we get too stuck into it, you said something that was absolutely fantastic. Ultimate economy. They still had so many ultimate stuff. It's jam. It's rubbing off on everyone.
I mean, Scylla are not a team to be taken lightly at all through the performances that we've seen through the performances in the past as well. These guys definitely have something to prove here, and I expect not only for them to have a fantastic finish in this qualifier, but, you know, even for the entire tournament, you just see the way they almost outclass the teams they're playing against. The level of positioning, the confidence coming out of the players as well. Hey, we're not scared to take your ground. We're not scared to hold you in your base.
Yeah, this is just, it's good stuff out of Scylla, right? They're going to strike fear into the hearts of people before long with the way they're playing here. In any case, out of the gate on this Reaper is going to be an interesting one against Spoons and Sparky.
Well, I think it does actually do quite well here. You got a couple of tanks to deal with. The Reaper really is for the anti-Winston, which Scylla are not going to be able to run here. They still get a very early pick from
Bugger Lugs, and now Daft as well. Both tanks handily dealt with even without a Reaper. That was just good positioning. Wuvo keeping the harass on, now the hook onto Hickerstorm, just to keep it secured. That is a very convincing fight out of Scylla. I was about to get stuck into the opening skirmish, but it was kind of over before it started.
Well, again, Sparky really opening up the plays. There's Spoons to back him up. This is rinse and repeat. This is exactly how Scylla have won night markets. Might just be the exact same way they'll win Control Center again. You've got the same composition pretty much on the other side, but we haven't seen those lightning hooks come out of Daft like we have out of Spoons.
Yeah, in any case, Sparky.
Oh, there's one.
Oh, yeah, there he goes. Tries to get it, doesn't quite close it out. Daft actually in trouble. Oh, the block of the Earth shattered there. Sparky going to try go charging in. Spoons, he's having to deal with Daft on the point. Now Sparky, he's a little bit caught out, a little bit too far forward, does trade one back, but Lofty going down is going to spell disaster here as Wuvo gets into the back line at long last. He's going to, at the very least, force Muzzy out of here, if not kill him. And now with the support of this area, yeah, they are going to get Ziff. Going to take out, not quite actually take out Muzzy is what I'm trying to say, but in any case, Staggered respawns and is really going to take wind out of these sails.
And just look at Wuvo's ultimate as well. He used his pulse bomb right at the start of the play. He's already on 82%, and that pulse bomb was exactly what started it all off.
Oh, and a massacre before our eyes. The fight is over before it begins. Just a great graviton and very, very few ultimates used. Ended up using another pulse bomb there. They didn't even need much. They only got 3 kills, but again, it's taking the wind out of Fourdown sails.
And they got more ults to go with that. They've got a nano whole hog combo if they want to go there. This will be Fourdown's opportunity though. For the first time, they're actually a kid in ultimate advantage.
As you say that, there's the nano whole hog, and it's so classic. Just literally the pushback. That's all this is. Spoons keeping everyone kettled in and even separated them off from the one tank who got out of that one. Buggerlugs went down. Daft went off to the side. Now they're going to try and hunt down Daft. They do get him. And again, the staggered respawns. They have finally burned all their resources, but they've put Fourdown in a position they only have one fight left.
And the fight's going to take place again at the spawn. This isn't where you want to fight if you're Fourdown. You have to take it to the actual control point. You have to be able to contest that.
Oh, Buggerlugs! Oh, that's going to force out the sound barrier at the top of it. He's getting to trade them back, though. Ziff getting in really, really deep, seeing what he can do, but he's caught by Spoons in the hook. That's going to be that. Spoons does go down, though. It is a 1-for-1. They're trying to keep it up as Hickerstorm. He's keeping everyone topped off as best as he can, and they're actually starting to get it. Going to be able to take down Project as well, and they did push the fight all the way through to the point. They do cap that back, but Scylla got what they wanted. They knew that was a lost fight, but they forced 99%.
They forced the 99%, but they also, they're happy to actually lose that fight. They can actually come back with a decent amount of ults here. They've got another combo left to go. They've got Graviton, Pulse Bomb. Lofty, he's the only one with anything here. He can go for a Death Blossom, but if he gets hooked, if he gets slapped, it's all over.
They're going to go for it. Oh, there's a great Graviton to start it off. Actually, they're able to take out Wuvo. That's big stuff. That's one of the ultimates available, and forcing out the Graviton. Ziff going to try on that McCree to at least keep Spoons out of the fight. Takes a hook to the face, goes down. That is one unfortunate trade back. Probably not the one who needed to go Roadhog hunting, and actually just a couple like that have meant that suddenly the turnaround is starting to happen. Project taking out Lofty. I don't know if they have enough steam to push on to this point right now, but they're going to give it a go anyway. Wuvo getting the harassing. Let's see who they can pick. Buggerlugs is a little surrounded, gets the nano boost on him, has to go swinging the hammer, but he can't find anyone. They're just dancing around this column as Buggerlugs is put to sleep, and now he's got no health. The anti-heal on him. Project taking that one down with a ton of charge on that beam. Going to knock out Ziff any second now for sure. That health pack can only help you so much. 100-0 is the man. The cap comes back in, and just a few greedy picks at the end of what was a one fight just shut the door on Fourdown.
And Fourdown actually had a decent start there. Wuvo missed his pulse bomb. It went onto Buggerlugs, didn't do any damage to him. It actually hit the shield. Now, Buggerlugs, he was the closest to the ult. He was the closest to Earth Shatter. If he had gotten in time, I know why they nano boosted him. They needed him to get the damage in there. They needed him to be able to charge his ultimate, land the magical Earth Shatter, and maybe keep Fourdown into the game. But alas, it was not so. They all got taken out. As you said, Buggerlugs, he got kited quite badly in the middle of that actual control point. And they played around the nano boost extremely well. I mean, they didn't even really have to do anything special there. Just sort of run away. This Reinhardt can't catch up to you.
Scylla are doing something absolutely fascinating here. I mean, as it is, they kind of played that one by the numbers. They are having this really aggressive defense, and I'm loving it so far. Like I said, they're going to be striking fear into the hearts of other teams. In any case, this is a bit of a different kettle of fish. This is, of course, the Gardens, and we talked about this being a kind of wild card map.
We're going to see Wuvo onto the Pharaoh. I've seen this from this team, from Scylla before, and it has definitely worked quite well, particularly on Gardens, and particularly in the very open areas. And I like the Fourdown actually taking the push to the right.
Ooh, Sparky dropping the shield in an unfortunate moment, but they do trade it back onto Buglugs. This is going to cause the fight to break out. A great shield on Spoons means he's going to be able to take out his counterpart in Daft, and Lofty getting picked out as well by Flake with the boot. Gets Ziff as well now. Gee whiz, that is good stuff out of Flake.
The real problem there is Fourdown. Like, it's good that they're pushing from the white room flank, but hey, they're not actually pushing quickly enough. They got stopped at the bridge. You know, you're completely opening yourself up to purpose. Yeah, you've stopped Wuvo from getting the air superiority, but you haven't actually, again, pressured the actual control point. You haven't taken any good ground. You're still stuck in a choke.
And they were trading up until the point Flake got that boop off the edge, but in any case, they're going to try the same thing again. This time, Wuvo has been able to position himself a little bit more up in the air, able to get in behind Buglugs with those rockets. Oh, the conk doesn't quite take out Lofty, but Lofty is cut off from this fight. That is not where he wants to be as Buglugs gets picked off. Now Lofty as well. No really tanks here, aside from Daft, who is already taking chunks. Now they're going to try and go deep in with the whole hog. They haven't quite found anyone yet. They're going to have to commit a rocket barrage. They find two with that, despite that hook finding Ziff as well. That is good stuff. I think that's one more ultimate that they wanted to use, but they've still got plenty of gas in the tank.
You actually see Lofty make the adaptation onto Farah as well. They want to play the exact same game. They are, however, 50% behind in progress. This could be a little bit too late. I feel like you almost want to have something to really deal with the Farah, like McCree, like a soldier even, but they're going to go for the Farah versus Farah air combat, but still. In fact, no, Ziff has actually gone to Soldier as well, so this is Fourdown making a really big adaptation.
Yeah, they're really trying to go in, and also with this triple tank, but they're all going to get caught in a graviton. Oh, unfortunately, Sparky picking one to start with, that Ziff out of the picture. Daft as well, and without Lofty there to really keep things safe in the skies, they're not going to be able to get the momentum onto this one. Again, they're going to get wiped. They need to make sure Marzi doesn't die here. He actually committed a sound barrier, a little unfortunate. They only have time for one more fight.
One more fight, they have the ultimates, they have the resources available. Ziff can get a beautiful tack visor directly onto Wuvo. That's going to start things off. They do have to dodge Sparky's Earth Shatter here. Look for Flake to get that powerful sound barrier as well. These two people already get
oh dear. They're trying to commit to this one, but Wuvo up in the skies isn't even letting them get over that bridge. Daft can't follow up. They're trying to get onto the point. They have, oh, that was cheeky stuff. They are going to force Scylla back here a little bit, but yeah, Buglugs now he's going to go down. They did get the grab in for a second. Is that a pro Farah? That Farah just trying to hook out Lofty out of the skies. Now they are going to take her down, or him I suppose, but the Farah, and that is going to be the full clean cap, despite a very, very cheeky catch in there by Fourdown, and Scylla just one more domineering victory.
And again, that start for Fourdown was probably not the best this time around. The whole hog coming out of Spoons, this might actually be the play of the game here. Knocked everyone off the side. No, it's actually not. This is going to be one from Night Markets, but beautiful combo here anyway.
Yeah.
But speaking of Gardens, you know, that final fight for Fourdown, they had 4 ultimates available, particularly the tactical visor was really important for taking down Wuvo. They didn't manage to do that. In fact, I believe that Spoons actually hooked Ziff in the middle of the tac visor when he did actually eventually use it. And Wuvo stayed alive the entire time, did a bunch of damage. Lofty, he couldn't return the favor.